Hey guys, what's up? This is Harry Talks Movies and TV, and in this video I'm going to be discussing whether or not Agatha Coven of Chaos is necessary and is it needed in the MCU. So recently Marvel, well, a few months back, Marvel sort of gave, or this was announced a while ago, Marvel sort of released a whole slate of what's going to be coming out. A bunch of stuff was shown, but I'm going to be focusing on Agatha. This was ages ago, so I'm just discussing the, conversation around, is Marvel going for quantity over quality, right? And that is something we've been seeing more of as they've been releasing more and more stuff at the same time. We have seen a dip in quality of the content. So, and this is sort of a prime example of that is in making a show about a fairly unknown character who was like comic fans will know who Agatha Harkness is, and after WandaVision, Marvel fans, like MCU fans, will know who she is, right? But she's not like a staple character in the MCU, right? She's not very popular. She's sort of well known because WandaVision was a massive success. But yeah, she's a smaller character, right? And while I thought she was great in WandaVision, does that necessarily warrant a show? I'll be talking about that in this video. So yeah, so Agatha, played by Kathryn Hahn, was in WandaVision. She was in the comics. She was introduced into the MCU in WandaVision. She did a great job, I feel like. And then Marvel recently announced a show. And I feel like this was one of the only things Marvel sort of made, or it's not made yet, one of the only things Marvel decided to do based on fan reaction, because her song, Agatha All Along, was actually #1 on iTunes, like beating out like Justin Bieber or something, and Cardi B when it first came out. And like everybody, it was a phenomenon, the song was an absolute phenomenon, and it became extremely popular, and it really boosted the show. And so I feel like this is one of the only things that Marvel did that was sort of a reaction to that. They made a show about her. And I see a lot of people on Twitter and on TikTok saying stuff like, oh, why are we doing this? Like, we don't care about this character, like quantity over quality. And that's all that stuff, and saying like, this isn't needed. And I have always personally disagreed with that and thought nothing needs to be necessary. Like, do you think a Loki show was needed? Did Marvel need to do that? Well, I understand like the bigger implications of Kang and stuff. Maybe Loki was a bad example, but like Hawkeye. Was Hawkeye needed? Did they need to do that? Or could they have introduced Kate Bishop another way? So it doesn't matter if it was needed or not. And maybe Hawkeye was also a bad example because Hawkeye was not that great. But what's something that was great, right? So Thor Ragnarok, right? They could have just went from Thor and just completely not did another movie and just did Thor and just made Thor go straight from Ultron to Infinity War and not do Thor Ragnarok. Like a third Thor movie wasn't needed, but it was, it was wanted, and it ended up being great. It ended up being phenomenal, right? So I feel like they don't need to be needed, right? Not everything needs to be necessary for them to do these sort of spin-off shows and these little side quests, as long as they're well done and well made and end up being good product. I don't see the problem in it personally, and I feel like she is an interesting character. They can dive into so much stuff with like witchcraft and all that kind of that whole corner of the MCU. And Kathryn Hahn is a great actress. I mean, she was great in Glass Onion. She's awesome. She's a really good actress, right? And so with her heading up this show, I feel like she'll do a really good job. Also with Jack Schaefer returning to, I think she's showrunning this show. She was the showrunner of WandaVision. She's coming back. We've got the director of Wednesday, or one of the directors of the Wednesday show, which was really popular, is coming on to direct a few episodes. And this show has like massive potential. I mean, the cast itself is actually pretty stacked. We've got Kathryn Hahn, Aubrey Plaza, who, that's like the best news I've heard like in the last few months, is that Aubrey Plaza is going to be in the show, because Aubrey Plaza is, I think, such an underrated actress. She is so great, and for her to be in this show has so much, it's going to be amazing, right? She's a great actress, and for her to be playing a witch, like, there's so much potential with that. We have Joe Locke, who has recently gained like a lot of fame from the show on Netflix, Heartstopper, and so yeah, but there's a lot of rumor that he could be playing Billy, aka Wiccan, aka Wanda's kid from WandaVision, right? An older version of him, where his soul has been sort of reincarnated into this other person. That's why he doesn't look the same as the actor from WandaVision. There's a lot of theory and speculation around that, which I think that's actually probably true, and that can be awesome. Wiccan is one of like the major characters in Marvel Comics, and so yeah, we've got a bunch of the people from Westview coming back. Like we've got Emma Caulfield, who played Dottie in WandaVision, coming back. We've got Mrs. Hart, Deborah Jo Rupp coming back. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of potential with this show. It doesn't need to be needed, for them to do it. And I feel like but it still could be needed. We don't know much about the plot. All we know is that the cast is stacked and the people behind the show are talented. So I'm excited. I feel like it's not necessarily needed, I think why not? You know, this has a lot of potential and it could be really good. So anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you think the show's needed? Do you think it's not? If you like the video, please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.